Welcome to today's episode. Many learners struggle to improve their English speaking, especially with limited time. Robin, have you noticed any common barriers that hold people back from speaking confidently?
Absolutely. The biggest hurdles are fear of making mistakes and lack of regular practice. Many people also feel overwhelmed by grammar or worry about their accent, which can make them reluctant to speak up.
That's so true. It's easy to get discouraged. Let's dive into some practical strategies to overcome these obstacles, starting with a surprisingly effective technique.
Great idea. Implementing even one realistic method can make a dramatic difference in fluency over time, especially when practiced consistently.
One method I recommend is narrating your everyday life in English. Robin, can you share how this actually works in practice?
Certainly. Imagine you're making breakfast. You simply describe your actions aloud. I'm cracking 2 eggs. The pan is hot. I smell toast. This self-talk builds fluency by turning daily routines into language practice.
And if someone feels self-conscious, is it still effective to speak softly or even think in English instead of speaking aloud?
Absolutely. The key is regular exposure. Even silent narration or thinking in English wires your brain for faster recall and helps bridge the gap between understanding and speaking.
Let's build on that by discussing self-questioning. How does asking yourself questions like, "What am I doing?" promote spontaneous speaking ability?
It mimics real conversations. For example, you might ask, "What do I see around me?" And answer, "I see cars passing by and people waiting at the bus stop." This practice prepares you for actual dialogue by encouraging quick thinking in English.
That makes sense. Would you recommend setting aside a specific time for this, or weaving it into daily activities?
Both approaches work. Some learners set a 5-minute timer, while others narrate during mundane tasks like commuting. The more naturally you integrate it, the less intimidating it feels.
Moving on, pronunciation is often a stumbling block. Mimicking native speakers is suggested, but how can learners do this systematically?
Learners can listen to audio clips or watch videos, then pause and repeat after the speaker. For example, after hearing, "What a beautiful day," they repeat it, copying the accent, rhythm, and intonation.
Is there a benefit to recording oneself and comparing it to the original speaker?
Definitely, recording and playback let you catch subtle errors like mispronounced vowels. A 2022 study found learners who use this technique improve their accent accuracy by 30% over 3 months.
Some learners worry about attracting attention when practicing aloud. How should they decide whether to speak loudly, softly, or silently?
Context matters. At home or with supportive friends, speaking loudly helps with clarity and confidence. In public, speaking softly or thinking in English is more discreet but still effective.
So, regardless of setting, the main goal is to use English as much as possible, right?
Exactly. Consistency trumps volume. Even whispering or silent practice keeps your language skills active, which is most important for progress.
Now, let's address vocabulary expansion. What are the most effective ways to learn new words and actually remember them?
Daily reading anything from articles to comics introduces new words in context. Writing unknown words in a notebook, looking up meanings, and then using them in sentences cements retention.
Is there an ideal type of reading material for beginners versus advanced learners?
Beginners should start with simple, engaging content like children's books or familiar topics. Advanced learners can try news articles or literature. The key is to choose texts that spark genuine interest.
You mentioned reading about familiar subjects. How does connecting language learning to hobbies or work improve skill retention?
When you read about your passions, such as sports or technology, you're more motivated. This context also provides practical examples. For instance, a business professional learns industry jargon by reading market reports.
So, Personalization not only boosts motivation, but also ensures the vocabulary is relevant and useful in daily life.
Exactly. Real-world application makes new words stick, so you're more likely to use them during conversations.
Interacting with native speakers can be intimidating. What are some practical ways to find conversation, partners, or communities?
Language exchange platforms like Tandem or Conversation Exchange connect learners worldwide. Local conversation clubs or online forums also offer safe spaces to practice without fear of judgment.
Are there benefits to finding a tutor versus a peer for these exchanges?
Tutors provide structured feedback and error correction, while peers create a relaxed environment for experimentation. Both options accelerate progress, depending on your comfort and learning style.
Many learners experience nervousness or even anxiety when speaking. What strategies can help overcome this psychological barrier?
Start small practice with a friend or record yourself. Research shows that gradual exposure, like short daily conversations, steadily reduces anxiety. Celebrating small wins, such as completing a conversation, builds confidence.
Could role-playing real-life scenarios also help?
Absolutely. Simulating situations like ordering food or making small talk prepares you for real interactions, making spontaneous speaking feel less daunting.
To wrap up, sustaining improvement is often the hardest part. What's your advice for staying motivated and tracking progress over time?
Set specific goals, like learning 5 new words daily or speaking for 10 minutes each morning. Use language learning apps to log your streaks. Regular self-assessment, such as recording monthly speaking samples, makes progress tangible.
And sharing your journey with a friend or mentor for accountability can also boost motivation, right?
Exactly. Support networks provide encouragement and feedback, making the learning process more enjoyable and sustainable.
Before we close, let's reinforce some vocabulary from today. Annoyed, imitate, expand, nervousness, consistently, gestures. Robin, can you use a few of these in sentences?
Sure. She gave me an annoyed look when I interrupted. I tried to imitate native speakers' accents. You need to expand your vocabulary consistently. His nervousness showed in his hand. Gestures.
Excellent examples. Applying new words in context is a proven way to lock them into memory. Listeners, try making your own sentences with today's vocabulary for extra practice.
That's a great tip. The more you use new expressions, the more natural they become in your daily conversations.